Hello and welcome to the video. I'm Greg Pauley, Business Relations Manager for the City of Temple Terrace, here with another episode in our Temple Terrace Business Spotlight series. These videos are not endorsements, but rather an opportunity for you to hear directly from key players in our business community, learn how they do what they do, and the role they each play in supporting Temple Terrace. This time, we shine our spotlight on Hanna, Lemar, and Morris CPAs, located at 6508 East Fowler Avenue. Please join me now as I sit down with Miss Jane Blasquez, one of the owners, to learn how her small business supports small businesses throughout Temple Terrace. Well, hello, Jane. It's great to be here and great to see you. First, before we get started, I'd like to thank you for taking part in today's video.
Well, thank you for being here, Greg, and I'm honored to be part of the City of Temple Terrace Business Spotlight.
Very good. Can we please start by learning a little bit more about Hanna, Lemar, and Morris, how the business got started, and how the firm got to the business it is here today?
Yes, our founder, Ed Hanna, moved his business here about 40 years ago to the City of Temple Terrace. Ed was a long-term resident of Temple Terrace, and he was instrumental in creating the Temple Terrace Uptown Chamber Business of the Year Award. So they named that award after him, and that's given annually to a very deserving business in the Temple Terrace community. My partners, Michael Morris and David Lemar Jr., purchased the firm from Ed about 26 years ago, and I joined the firm actually a little over 20 years ago.
Wow, that's very rich in history. Thank you for sharing that. So, moving on, tell our viewers what you enjoy most about owning and operating a business right here in Temple Terrace.
Well, Temple Terrace is sort of like your neighborhood, that backyard to every area in the city. It's very convenient to all of Tampa Bay area, as well as some of our northern counties and central counties. And it provides a wide variety of great meeting places for businesses.
Fantastic. Well, part of what I do at Temple Terrace is I help new businesses get started, and I know you have some resources to also help new businesses. Can you share with our viewers maybe some of the new resources that you offer?
That would be great, because business owners come to us all the time when they start a new business and wonder, what do I do next? So there's sort of a little checklist we developed for them, where they know that they're supposed to legally form their business with the state of Florida, apply for a federal tax ID number, register with the state for potential taxes they may owe, like employment tax or sales tax, as well as the Department of Business and Professional Regulation for any licenses they may need. They should also register with their city or county for the business tax receipts licenses, and just implement their accounting procedures and bookkeeping software programs. So we like to help when the businesses get started on the right foot.
Yes, that is important. Being legal and legit is a key part of running a good business. Now, you mentioned registering with the state. Now, I know there's different types of business entities that we can register with the state. Can you kind of walk us through what that looks like?
Sure, there is a wide variety of different types of organizations that a business entity can select, and it's always best to confer with a tax professional and attorney before selecting one, because they all have their advantages and disadvantages. But some of those business entities of choice are a sole proprietor, or what people call self-employed person, who simply files a Schedule C on their 1040 to report their business activities. There's also a single member LLC, which the IRS disregards as a separate legal entity, but you do file the same way as a sole proprietor. It's just the state does recognize you as a separate legal entity from your business. There's multi-member LLCs, which are like partnerships, and they file partnership return Form 1065. But a multi-member LLC, or even a single member LLC, could decide that a better form of doing business is to elect to be a small business corporation. And they would then become an owner and employee usually of the business, and file a separate tax return, Form 1120S. Or they could even decide to become a regular C corporation and pay income tax on their earnings.
Wow, that's a lot to remember. I don't know how you keep that all up here, but that's great. That's super. Now, I'm a big proponent of stuff that I can generally do myself, and I kind of consider myself an adjunct DIY expert. So, can you talk to us a minute? Because I know there's some things that a small business owner can do for themselves, maybe save a little bit of money. Are there some ideas that you can share to help our local business community?
Yes, absolutely. Of course, a business should have a team of professionals like a CPA, attorney, and financial planner. But there are a lot of things that a business owner can do to take some task upon themselves. We really want the business owner to focus on what they're an expert in, which is running their business. But they can do a few things that would help them save money, like filing their annual report with the state of Florida. They will receive unsolicited emails from third-party agencies saying, hey, here's some very important forms that you need to file, and you need to do these as soon as possible, and here's our fee. And they look very official, but they're simply a third party that is trying to encourage them to hire them to file something that is relatively simple to do, and a business owner could go onto the state of Florida website and with just a few clicks of a button complete that task themselves.
Now, when we spoke earlier, you kind of identified what you felt to be the most valuable resource or service that your firm offers. Could you please share that with our viewers now?
Sure. I believe that our most valuable service is the year-end planning, because a tax return is sort of ancient history once we get that prepared and filed. What business owners need to know is, where do I stand before the end of the year? They need to have a good idea of what their profits and taxes will be, and what they can do to save some of their hard-earned dollars and not spend it on tax money. So, for example, a business owner might need to know, should I buy that piece of equipment or should I wait till next year? And also they need to know what their personal tax liability is going to be sure that they're covered and have paid in enough taxes to avoid any penalties. Because no one likes a surprise April 15th when they get a big tax bill, right?
I've had that happen.
So if we can plan ahead and let the taxpayer know where they stand and what they can do before the end of the year to help save money, that I think is a very valuable piece of information.
Yes, I bet our viewers will think the same. That's really good information. Now, I know you've got some other tips and tricks in your toolbox. Is there anything else you'd like to share with our viewers to maybe help them understand and work through this process that sometimes seems a little scary?
Sure. The best advice I can give is file your returns early. E-file if possible to avoid potential identity theft. Separate your business accounting from your personal. Don't mix your business and personal expenses. Keep the records separate. And securely store your records for at least 4 years. Also, you may want to reach out to the Small Business Development Center. I know Temple Terrace has a great center. They offer a lot of very valuable resources to businesses. Any IRS correspondence you get should be handled by a tax professional. And finally, just hire a tax professional for your taxes. That's the best advice I can give.
Wow, that's good information. This is really good information. I've learned a lot just in the time we've spent here chatting. Thank you again, Jane, for helping us make this video. I know it's going to be a great resource for our local business community.
It's been my pleasure, Greg.
Thank you. I'd also like to thank the Temple Terrace Uptown Chamber of Commerce for nominating today's featured business. To learn more about nominating or recommending a business to be featured in an upcoming Spotlight series, please visit templeterrace.gov/business spotlight. Once again, I'm Greg Pauley, Business Relations Manager for the City of Temple Terrace. Please always remember to shop local, dine local, and support local right here in Temple Terrace.